Okay, so after thinking about these new Ninjago leaks more and more, and after sitting on them for a fair amount of time now, after seeing this specific thing that I'm going to be bringing up in today's video mentioned, it's left me personally really confused, and it all relates to the Overlord, him being the buyer, and how all of this is possible in the first place. Oh, and how this almost kind of messes up the timeline in a way, and how overall it just doesn't make any proper sense. Okay then, so flashback time. In the episode of Dungeon Party, if you guys know what I'm talking about, from Season 13, we saw a flashback in which the Upply go to Shintaro, right, and they have to go and collect the Skull of Hazard-Dur and give it back to the Skull Sorcerer or Vangelis. Now, as they did this, in one specific scene in the castle, we saw young Vanya, where she was basically playing off to the right-hand side of the screen, and she looked really, really young, right? And I mean, from this alone, we can kind of gather that she was probably around 3, 4, 5, perhaps a 6. So she was around, you know, kind of a toddler age, and she was just very young at the time, right? And in actual Season 13, we can possibly tell that she was around, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, that kind of age, right? That definitely seems likely, considering how she acted and just how she came across on screen. It definitely felt like she was that kind of age. Well, we also know that the Skull of Hazard-Dur, and why the Skull Sorcerer wanted it, was basically so that he could start shipping off this Vengestone and starting his huge slave army down below in the heart of the mountain, right? So basically, Vangelis has been, you know, up to this shady business involving Vengestone for around 6 to 10 years. I think that's definitely a safe prediction to make, considering Vanya's age gap and what she looks like in Dungeon Party. I'd say the 6 to 10 years is a very safe bet to make on that. So this means that the buyer has been basically buying all of this Vengestone for 6 to 10 years. Now, what I'm really trying to get at here is that this means that the Overlord has been buying Vengestone for 6 to 10 years. And I mean, when you say it like that, it's really strange, right? This means that it's been around 6 to 10 years, again, since the Overlord was defeated, since he most likely started doing all of this after he got defeated as a new plan, right? So that means that Rebooted in Ninjago's timeline, of course, took place around 10 years ago, which on its own just kind of shakes things up entirely, and it just sounds really, really weird. Now, for one thing, the ninja really just haven't changed at all in this time. Now, I know that the ninja aren't meant to have ages in the universe. Of course, that's been stated many, many times by Tommy Andreasen. You, the viewers, can determine how old the ninja all are. But still, you'd think that something would have changed over 10 whole years. That means that the seasons have been lasting for ages in universe. And that alone kind of shakes things up, because from what we can already tell, most Ninjago seasons don't really last that long in the actual universe of Ninjago. So now, getting the news that Season 3, the finale, took place around 10 years ago, you get what I'm saying now? Are you connecting the dots here? That just kind of makes things so slow. And so, if the Overlord truly is the buyer, which definitely seems to be like 99% confirmed at this point from promo bricks, that would take a lot of explaining to do, to say the least, and they're really going to have to try and give us a good answer. Now, Tommy Andreasen did say that this is going to be the most ambitious season of Ninjago ever, so I mean, this may have something to do with it, trying to explain this insane timeline. But yeah, as we know it already, Ninjago's timeline is pretty messed up. That's definitely one thing that we can confirm. But this almost takes it to a new level, in my opinion, and just overall doesn't make much sense. And just kind of seems really confusing, and I'm sure a lot of you guys can agree with that one too. So yeah, it's either going to be kind of a weird plot hole, play it off as if, you know, nothing's really changed, or they're going to have to do a lot of explaining regarding this. And seriously, I really think it's going to be the second option there, because this, yeah, this seems really, really confusing and just overall strange. The Overlord defeated 6 years ago, or even 10 years ago. Wow. Definitely a really weird conversation here, and yeah, just baffles me overall. With all of this being said though, guys, do be sure to drop your thoughts down below regarding all of this. As usual, if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like on it, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell if you're new around here to stay up to date on all things Ninjago related. And with all of this being said, I will see you all in my next video coming out very, very soon. Goodbye.